Be careful, dear one. There are people in the world who are very capable, but not loving. Let me contrast the two. They can be very successful vis-a-vis the society that they're moving through. But they're successful in an elitist, capable way of somehow forcefully mastering the system by their capability. Whereas there's another type of person who is, or quite simply loving, compassionate, beautiful person. There's a difference between beautiful in a worldly way and beautiful in a soft life sense of love. There's life and love, you see, kindness and compassion, sincerity, goodness. And there's a different form of material strength, ability, having all the wherewithal to be a dominant success in the world. It's attractive because we want life, and, well, in a physical way we need a great measure of comfort and provision, else we can achieve nothing. But what we achieve is what matters. Well, I mean, I don't mean that in a worldly sense. I mean, what matters is love, grace, patience, goodness, joy, peace, loving kindness, motherliness in a sense of nurturing and care and earnest help for others' welfare, and fatherliness in a sense of protective provision and ability, yes. But such is in service to good values, loving kindness, blessing, peace, joy, life, flourishing, as opposed to, well, a narrow self-interest. So you can be capable in a godly way. In other words, using your capability to godliness. Godliness being defined as loving creativity. So you can use your power in terms of protecting and promoting such. Or you can use your power in terms of, well, your worldly prosperity and success in commanding the resources of the world, but not have these basic values. So you're serving a very narrow view of self. Even down to your family, only in as far as they really promote your well-being. I mean, the well-being of the angelic is important too, but it's to a different foundational set of purposes and values. It's that which we are, as godly people, truly valuing, and the ungodly simply don't value such. They value life, but most especially their own life, and the narrow group that supports such. But there isn't the foundational value of wanting to care for all life. In a sense, it's as simple as that. The extreme of angelicness is wanting all life to flourish somehow. The extreme lack of that is either a dead person through to a very capable person, but not capable in achieving those foundational qualities, or rather not addressed as such, because they don't have them themselves. So in very simple terms, I mean, you could be admiring a capable, let's say a marksman, a shooter, because he could destroy your enemies and protect you. But you could be valuing a marksman because he would destroy your enemies and protect your people. But is he faithful and true? Has he got the right foundational values? Or will he simply become your enemy, should it suit him? Perhaps that's a difficult example because we're talking about a potential killer, but of course nations do have to have armies, or they are overcome by nations that do have armies. It seems to be what happens. And so there are some armies in the world there are some nations in the world that don't have armies and still survive. But their independence may be something of an illusion, but they are dominated by the nation that's calling the tune in the power structure. Intuitively they become the strongest nation, and your ideal is that the strongest nation is also the most godly in your understanding of godliness, purposing really the welfare of all. Peace, harmony, prosperity, kindness, compassion. Yet also the strongest to stop the worldling taking over and those values not being promoted. So we see perhaps the strongest nation well able to be violent if necessary. to protect its values. Now, there has been a godliness that says no violence, ever. But even in the story of Jesus, that seems to result in, from a material perspective, the good guy getting crucified, which is not what God wants, in the sense that he may allow it. But it's not what he wants in heaven. No way. Crucifixion and so on. Dear one, the answer is not clear to us because we are children. And therefore we have to trust in that which we believe to be our protection and sustenance, our parents. Our worldly parents are very worldly. And we are envisaging godly parent, our heavenly dad, who truly loves and cares for us. And we are devoted to that idea. It's a spiritual thing, you see. It's not of this world. Except if it's the case that our God is indeed all-powerful and all-loving, and has that which we do not understand to his noble purpose, therefore, that we trust in him despite the lessons being a mystery to us at times and a concern to us. Or we can pass through the school here, the materialist world, universe, trusting utterly in our heavenly dad's overrule. And that seems to be the better way. Let me pause. Well, I'm now finishing this recording, so to speak, after having produced the next two recordings. So I'm coming back, and as I look at this one, I think, well, you did have the answer by the time we got to the end of this. I don't mean the other two recordings following this are not of value. They are. They, I think, make it clearer. I hope so. But what I would add now is an ending to this one, which is, well, taste and see. Does pursuing a view of devotion to your God that personifies what you value bring what you want? Which I think is a modification of your values through experience here, and much joy, much hope, much peace. When you continue going in the same direction, won't you? Which we trust will be to much blessing, life eternal. I think because we take courage from how we see things turn out when we do so. It's a case of taste and see, it really is. Does personifying my own values, what I see as my true values, and worshipping such as my God, result in the success that I'm truly seeking in terms of my values? And the answer is, well, no, not quite. And I adjust my values accordingly to success. Life eternal. Heaven. Taste and see. But I've still written and still produced the next 2 recordings. And